I just played my first professional tournament in the south of France at one of the most beautiful locations I've ever seen. I played some of the toughest matches of my career, traveled like an absolute maniac, and went through the emotional roller coaster of playing my first pro event.
What's up, you tennis nuts? We are here in Rome, about to board our flight to Marseille, and then we're spending the night in Marseille, and in the morning we have a train ride from Marseille to Montpellier for our tournament. Welcome to Marseille. We're going to hopefully get a shuttle to the hotel. Let's see what we can find. Well, this seems like a good time to explain what's going on. So, I didn't even come to Europe for this tournament. I came to Europe expecting to play a couple of M15s in Madrid. And then out of nowhere, on Wednesday night, I got a message from the tournament director at this UTR pro event. It's like, hey, are you interested in playing? You interested in getting a wild card? Yes, sir. I am interested in that. What do you think that says? Think I'm allowed in? I think I'm allowed in. This is where it tells me to go. So I'm just walking through a nature preserve to get to my hotel. It's quite dark, but I have you guys, right? Am I afraid of the dark? Okay, my advice is to not do this. Do not walk through a nature preserve of tall grass at this time of night. All right, I'm back on the street. I've never been so happy to just walk along the side of a street. That was a terrible idea. Before this trip, I said I wanted to show off the adventurous side of this whole process a little bit more. That is not what I meant. You've never seen a grown man happier to see a Holiday Inn Express. No more adventuring. That's a tennis channel. Less adventure, more tennis. Okay, let's get in our room. Love you. 12 out of 10 exhale walking into this hotel room. Honestly, just take the Uber next time. 0-calorie Coke and a Bounty. It's a perfect dinner. All right, you tennis freaks. It is really late, embarrassingly late. It's 2 a.m. I got my nose strip on like I'm at the spa, and I'm going to bed. We got a train ride in the morning. It's pretty sick. Good night. Good morning. I've hit snooze maybe 6 times, but I just realized that the train station is about 25 miles away. So, we gotta go. All right, here's the plan. I've got a hot coffee. We're gonna take an Uber, learn French on the 30-minute ride over, and then we're going to perfectly execute going from Uber to train to seat to our train ride is 2 hours. Marseille to Montpellier. Montpellier. We're going to learn how to pronounce that too. So first, I'm going to drink my hotel coffee. I'm pretty sure taking a train ride in the south of France is like a, that's like a bucket list item. Even though it's, 40 degrees. Marseille train station, here we come. Oh, I just missed the elevator. Rough start. My ex-girlfriend's name on the tattoo on my chest, 'cause I can't do nothing right, and I can't seem to get along. I've forgotten what it looks like on the other side of wrong. Yeah, I picked a fight with the boxer, scratched her name. Chaos. I have no idea which train is mine. So, but it's just unbelievable to take in. Now, you can't take it in for that long. My train's in 20 minutes. Somehow we managed to get through. Let's see if we can find our seat. We made it.
Didn't think we would. To be completely honest, I'm not sure I really believed at any point. But here we are. The adventure continues because, of course, my hotel is 30 miles. 30 miles from the train station. It seems hard to say that's even the same city. So, looks like we're gonna pay a flight's worth of an Uber right now. We made it into our hotel here in, I don't even think I can call this Montpellier, which I did learn how to pronounce Montpellier. This is not Montpellier. I mean, I took a train into Montpellier and then I had to take a 50-minute Uber. This is Cape Agde, I believe is the name. This is gonna be our home for the next 6 days while I play the PTT. And an ashtray if I pick up smoking. If I play bad, maybe I will. It's absolutely pouring baguettes right now. Will we get to practice today? I doubt it. But I've played tennis for a long time, you know? I should be fine, right? Right? Nothing quite like hotel lighting, is there? So we've spent the day, 1, sleeping, 2, working, getting my rackets ready, getting my supplies, everything together. The person I'm playing tomorrow, I got to watch some of his match today, talked with Coach Ruan a little bit about game plan, and we play at 9 tomorrow. They moved it inside, so the rain came in this afternoon, so now I'm gonna be inside tomorrow, which will be interesting, playing inside on red clay for the first time. And I'll wake up, I have a warm-up at 8:30, so wake up, warm up, and play. I'll see you guys in the morning. What is up, you tennis nuts? Welcome to match day number 1. We've got to get food. We need to get an Uber over to the courts, which is like, I don't know, a mile away. We need to do a warm-up, and we need to play our match and win. Inside today, warm-ups at 8:30, matches at 9. We don't have that much water, but how important is water anyways? Not that important. We need to eat and go. Well, we're all ready, but it is like impossible to get a taxi. I don't know, so in 15 minutes or so, we may have to make the call and just run for it. The taxis never came. I'm 2 miles away. Got my stuff in my bag. We got 30 minutes to run. Oh my God. All right, there's a one-way street. So I can't run on there. I'm on a trail. Oh yeah. It's beautiful. So frustrating. I think I'll probably miss my warm-up. I don't know. I expected there to be taxis. That's my fault. It's hard to explain just how insane this is. It's raining. I'm in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Just running on like a gravel path with my rackets. People must think I'm insane. I'm not having fun, but it is gorgeous. But I'm not having fun at all. I really hope this video does well. Running with your rackets in the cold sucks. Shout out Dunlop. Oh my God. We made it. That sucked. At least we're here. Two-mile warm-up, done.
And just like that, we're stepping on court for our first ever professional match. And I cannot stress enough how real that situation was. I had time, and then all of a sudden I was looking at my watch going, if I don't start running now, not only am I not going to make my warm-up, I'm going to be late for the match. So, yeah, would not recommend a 2-mile run in the cold. before you play your first professional match. But if you're looking to get rid of the nerves, that's a great way to do it, because by the time I stepped on court for this, I was exhausted, but I wasn't that nervous anymore. Anyway, let's get into this first ever professional match, which I could not be more excited to share with you. This whole experience, from the moment that I got the wild card, having to put together all of my travel last minute, trying to figure out which hotels to stay at, what the best way to get to and from the courts are, how to manage my food and my rackets, all these things in a completely new country to me, in France, which I'd never been to, and then also completely new playing environment, a cold indoor red clay court, which for me, I've played on red clay, but indoor red clay, never before. So basically, from start to finish, this experience was just me learning nonstop. You'll see, we'll do a series of videos from this tournament. There were definitely some times when I was not feeling the best during this event. It's a pretty long event. I was feeling down at some points, but every time I would talk to Ruan during the tournament, he would just say, "Yeah, you're getting used to professional tennis, or what professional tennis might be like. So dealing with all the crazy travel and the conditions is just part of it." And I think having that mindset coming out of the tournament makes me appreciate this event a lot more. So today's match, this was the first match of the tournament for me, and how this tournament works is you're placed into groups. You're placed into groups of 5 players, and you play a round robin, so you play every other player in your group, and then based on how you finish in the group standings, you move on to a playoff. We'll go through all my matches. We'll talk about things that I changed in between matches. It was just one match a day, so after each match I had time to reset and sort of create a game plan for the next day. There was a couple things that I was actively fixing during the tournament. One was the shoes. I didn't have clay court shoes. I think it's hard to really understand the situation. I was in Rome expecting to play hard court tournaments, and on Wednesday night before those hard court tournaments, I got this call to come to Montpellier. So that means in the span of 4 days, I'm putting together flights and hotels, and so I never really had the opportunity to get clay court shoes before I got to the tournament. So this first match is in just regular hard court shoes. You'll see me slip around and look a little bit uncomfortable. Fortunately, I did manage to get a hold of a pair of clay court shoes after the first match, after probably Ruan shaking his head for the 1,000th time that I've played tennis for 20 years and don't have the right shoes. Anyway, early in this match, I really only had a couple goals. I was still trying to get my bearings a little bit after that run, just the adrenaline pumping. I hadn't been able to practice much before this. I hadn't been able to practice much the week leading up to this. So I was kind of trying to find my footing on the court and also just sort of settle my nerves down. You saw it here, 2 double faults and an unforced error to start my service game. So I would not say that it was the cleanest start, maybe the world's ugliest overhead. But I did have a really good idea of what I wanted to do during the match. I had some great clarity on court recently. One of those things is playing with a lot more margin. So me and Ruan used those kids lines, the green ball or orange ball lines. So I wanted that to be like the front of my mind during this match, especially on a cold clay court. So try to keep the ball in with better margins. Then the second thing was seeing if I could try to be more aggressive with my backhand, especially if I haven't been practicing. I don't have a ton of confidence on the forehand side, especially trying to be aggressive. So one thing going into this tournament I really wanted to emphasize is trying to do a little bit, when I'm trying to do a little bit more, make sure I'm trying to do a little bit more with my backhand, my strength. Not trying to win the match with my forehand, which isn't something I'm particularly comfortable or confident in, especially in pressure moments, i.e. that miss right there. And I don't know how much stock you can really put into the first 3 games of this for me. Even me who likes to overreact to playing poorly, the first 3 games of this are the first 3 games of tennis I've played in a week on a completely new court, straight off a run. So I'm trying my best just to keep my head on straight here early. It's an uncomfortable situation for everyone. It's cold, it's slow. It's a little bit of a weird environment, especially in this indoor facility. It wasn't the original setup. So there's clinics going on, there's people playing paddle and everything next to you. This is uncomfortable for everyone. So just making balls, sticking around, trying to be a little bit professional was my goal, and I did start to see some reward for that. You know, it's not like the guys I'm playing against are Sinner and Alcaraz. If I make balls at this level, I'll still be let in at least a couple times and have opportunities. I'd say a big difference looking back on the matches now, which I didn't really feel or didn't see during the match, was how much worse my movement on the clay is than my opponents. I didn't feel particularly slow. Maybe this match I felt a little bit slow just because I was slipping, trying to push to the ball. But I never felt like, oh wow, I'm a terrible mover on the red clay. But everyone who watched me, who I know well enough to take the advice from them, they were saying, yeah, you just look so uncomfortable, so unnatural on the red clay. So that is one thing as we go into next year, where next year, hopefully we're going to be playing a lot more events at this level. I need to, one, get more matches at the level, but more importantly, get more matches on different surfaces, especially red clay, because a ton of these tournaments are held on red clay throughout Europe. So I will try my best as we get into 2026 to find a cool place, hint, hint, possibly even this academy, French Touch Academy, where this tournament was held. I might be coming back here to train. I was fortunate enough to meet the owner while I was there. I might be coming back there to train so I can get a little bit of a boot camp done on red clay, see if I can get myself comfortable. But as you can see, I'm starting to find my footing a little bit. And actually, I was pretty happy with, watching this match back, I was pretty happy with following the game plan. I felt like I was trying to be aggressive inside the margin. I didn't feel like I was forcing anything too early. But maybe the one big thing I saw is just moving backwards on my forehand all the time. I don't seem to get the weight transfer or whatever you want to call it, my shoulders, as I'm going to hit that forehand, my shoulders are leaning back. And you can almost tell that I'm nervous to hit the ball, and that results in tons of mistakes. I'm going to shut up for like a game or two because this is where the level goes up, and then we'll check back in closer to the end of the set.
Hold that. Press. Counter use. Gestures. Hands out. Up channel. Up. Down channel. Down touch. Gestures. On zéro, touch it up. Cut. Bien enfin. Avantage. Égalité. Shoot.
And a little bit of a lucky bounce there, but we will take it. I mean, talk about the turnaround from 4-1 down and feeling like maybe this whole tournament was not the right decision to up 5-4 serving. I got a little lucky. I got to be honest, this volley that I just hit came off the handle of my racket. But I was feeling great. I'm thinking, okay, of course, you're never going to just get handed the match especially on a clay court because the ball's moving so slow in the cold. But I was feeling like completely in control. I felt like I had good confidence on both forehand and backhand. Serve, can't really do much with the serve indoors here. But he was giving me enough mistakes that this point was actually a huge surprise to me. I think this point was the big turnaround. I was expecting a mistake from him much earlier in this point.
Cut.
And that's the first time I really forced the ball, and I just kind of like let it slip into my brain. You know, I played a pretty good point. Maybe I forced the ball to the sideline, made an unforced error. I wasn't focused for the next point. He sort of let me back in. You know, he was making enough errors. I still had a chance, but you know when you just you can tell that your brain has lost its grip. You know, like I could tell my focus. I don't know if it was because I was down 4-1 and getting back to 5-4, I relaxed. At this point, I could just tell. I was like, uh-oh, I am losing my focus 1,000%. And so, but a good thing, though, I would say a good thing about this whole process, of course, super frustrating to be serving up 5-4 and feel your focus slipping. One thing that me and Ruan have talked about a lot recently is not expecting to be perfect mentally the whole match. So almost expecting to have those dips in focus, especially for me. It seems like I have tons of ebbs and flows in my focus throughout the match. So being ready for that to happen, and when you feel those dips in your focus coming, not being surprised, not being shocked, like, oh, I can't believe I'm not focused, or I can't believe I made that mistake, and then adjusting accordingly. So one thing I definitely could have done better at the end of this set is like these silly errors. I knew I was losing my focus. So even if I was playing better in the games leading up to this, if I know I'm losing my focus, take a second, reset my targets, go for a little bit less. But it's easy to say that now, isn't it? All right, let's see how the set ends. And that, my friends, is what you call choking it up. 5-4, 30-15, in control of the point, and just, I mean, basically lose 12 points in a row. Not actually, but basically completely lose the momentum. And a lot of it was just mental focus. I mean, the drop shot on the last point. Unfortunately, you guys are going to see me hit so many stupid drop shots throughout this tournament. I don't know what got into me. I mean, I guess it's cold and the courts aren't bouncing that high, so in my brain, it made sense. But I'm not good at drop shots. So please, if you share this video one time, every time I hit a bad drop shot, this channel is going to have a bajillion subscribers. Probably not, actually. If they see the drop shots, unsubscribe. But I was very happy with the turnaround into the second set here. Of all things that I have seen come and go after college tennis, I would say my rebound, my mental toughness after losing the first set is something that I've really struggled with coming back. I found that when I lose the first set, my mindset is more like, what is the point? I should just go back on the court and practice. Like, if I can't beat this guy in straight sets, what is the point of me playing? Which is a terrible mindset. Of course, if I went through all of the scores from this tournament, there are guys who are 13 UTR, top 500 who are losing sets frequently to guys with UTRs 2 points below them. So losing one set doesn't mean really doesn't mean anything. Winning the match is what it's about, and you'll see all the time great players lose a set or two, even especially in Grand Slams. So that's one thing I was happy with here, is that despite how the whole morning unfolded, and I wasn't particularly pleased with the travel accommodations or whatever I had set up for myself, and losing the first set after having the lead, I did compete in the second set. I thought I made him earn every point that he played, and for me, I know that seems a little bit crazy, but that's a step in the right direction. I'm not saying that I don't know how to compete, but I will say, since coming back to playing, I've noticed myself be a little bit of a worse competitor after losing the first set, or after even when I split sets. When I take the blow of losing a set, I've found my energy levels drop, and today it was much better. So I'll let you see. I'd love to hear what you guys think I should have done differently in this match. I'll let you watch how this set unfolds, and then we'll check back in closer to the end of the second set.
Pass. Je shoot. Pass. Hands up. 59. Monta. Je du guide. 15-0. 30-0. 40. Je du guide.
So lots of opportunities for me early in the second set, which is a good thing. I mean, even if I didn't take those opportunities, it means that as the set goes on, I'm going to have opportunities to break, opportunities to get ahead. One thing we haven't really talked about yet is the serve. And so for me, anytime I talk with Ruan, we talk about my game style, it revolves around the serve, right? It revolves around either free points or using the serve to set up the first shot of the point. And with these conditions, the cold, the courts, the balls, there wasn't much. I wasn't getting much out of my serve, and I think that I really struggled with that in the first couple of matches. As the tournament goes on, I started to find my serve that I needed to loosen up my arm extra because it was in the cold. I needed to maybe toss a little bit higher, so I was able to fully extend up and not be hitting the serve with a bent arm. But as you go through this match, it's easy during the match to think, oh, I'm playing so bad from the back. My forehand is bad, my backhand's bad. But in reality, the goal for my tennis, and I think the goal for a lot of players, especially men's players with big serves, is to take the pressure off of your baseline game with your serve and return. And so I need to constantly remind myself, and I think that's a good reminder for everyone, that how you're playing from the back of the court may not be as big of a deal as why are you in those positions in the first place? You know, why am I having to come up with 5 forehands from the middle of the court to win the point? Unless I'm playing, you know, top 1,000 maybe in the world, which for me is a high level, I should be getting free points on my serve and having an easier time holding serve all the time. So that's a good reminder. I actually didn't think about that until I just started recording this, and so these are the benefits of going back and watching your matches over. As frustrating as it is to watch me squander this many opportunities in a row. Definitely a little bit of fatigue at the end of this match. I think you'll start to see in some of my decisions, and even the points that I win, the ball just gets closer and closer to the line. I gotta be like, there's a lot of. I'm not trying to make excuses, but there are a lot of different factors going into this tournament, and I was genuinely exhausted by the time I stepped on court, getting to the tournament, and that just goes to show you. I mean, top pros, even futures and challengers players are traveling every week, probably in worse conditions, I imagine, a lot of the times than I was in here. And traveling and then having to get off the flight and play, not always being able to practice, definitely playing in poor conditions on the courts. So it gave me a whole new respect for how flexible you need to be, how capable you need to be at finding your level mid-tournament in completely new settings. I'm used to finding my game over the course of a couple days on the same court with the same coach, you know, and then sort of building like that. This is a whole nother ball game. Like, you're finding your level while you're playing, and so as the tournament goes on, I do a bit of a better job of that, and that's probably a great learning experience for me. Like, how do you find your game when things are really unique and new to you? But didn't quite find it here, at least not yet.
15-0. Hands up. Cut, count.
And we should give credit to this guy. I mean, I don't know, Jukic, I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. Another terrible drop shot. Please unsubscribe. But he played with some amazing feel at certain points in this match. Some of the drop shots, some of the pickups that he was hitting they were incredible. So good for him. Was not the world's most amazing performance from me by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not here to complain about that. I think you'll hear me complain about that in a couple seconds after the match anyways. This is all for me, I would say, a setup. You know, I'm getting myself set up to try to play as many times as I can next year. And so having the opportunity to play at this level, get some matches under my belt so it's not as foreign next year is really the goal. But that was match number 1. One cool thing, they're going to throw up the stats here so we can look at the stats together. Not the world's prettiest. 0 aces. Does that say 6 double faults? I guess I won the double fault battle, but not particularly strong on serve. Only winning 50% of the points behind my first serve and 40% behind my second serve. So it's a long tournament though. We've got a lot more to play. So let's catch up. I get to sweep the court and then let's catch up.
All right, you tennis nuts. God, tennis is a tough sport, isn't it? I imagine I'm not the only one who feels like this, that sometimes you sort of play the same match. I feel like I've played that match a lot of times where I get up and then I just things just start to slip through my fingers. All right, let's be logical. Positives, my body felt good, moving. Fitness felt good. I mean, it's hard to say you're fit when it's 40 degrees, but I was fit. Backhand was good. Return was fine. Forehand was acceptable and then not acceptable for the middle part of the match. I'm sure I'll have more to say when I get back to my hotel. I got a little bit of a walk here, but thanks for watching, guys. All right, you tennis nuts. We have spent the last 3 hours laying in bed, looking at footage, watching the match again, complaining again to Coach Ruan, and we're back in a positive attitude. It's beautiful outside, but we are saying goodbye to this hotel.
Do you need the tickets?
Okay, we're in a much better area, and the sun is starting to go down. I think it's a beautiful night, so let's go check out what Agde de France looks like, right on the coast, south of France. It should be lovely. And we're listening to Christmas music because, why not? This will certainly lift your spirits after a loss, won't it? You know, you go through these periods throughout the trip where you go like, oh, I'm so excited to go play. And then you spend $1,000 to travel and you go, this is not as much fun. And then you run to your first match and you go, maybe this isn't for me. And then you walk at sunset in the south of France next to hundreds of boats. And you go, yeah, I think I can be okay with this life.